Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Hello, everyone. I am Margie Taylor, your host for this segment today of Conroe Culture News. I have taken a little bit of an absent from doing the radio hosting, a year and a half. I was hosting this show for 8.5 years every Monday, and now we're doing a special segment today to talk about Lenora Purvis, her friends that are here with Heaven's Army, and all the other community things that she's involved in, primarily in East Montgomery County, Cleveland area, and that, just to inform and educate people about the area of trafficking, sexual assaults, and different programs. So we're going to hear more about that. So if you're just tuning in, this is irlonestar.com is the website, and you can follow it on irlonestar.com, Lone Star Community Radio. You can find it on YouTube, and Conroe Culture News on Facebook. This is FM 104.5, 106.1. So my guest today will be Lenora Purvis, and she is sitting across the table from me. Sitting next to me is Pastor Michael Nix, otherwise we'll just call him Pastor Mike. And then also sitting across from me is Mary Yett. And Mary has her own story that she's going to share in her journey and how she got connected to Lenora and Heaven's Army of Resources and all of that. So, here we are. Lenora. So, you've been on the show before. I think you were one of my first guests, like 8.5, well, probably 9.5 years now, so long ago. And you have done a lot of different things. I mean, you have many organizations that you have started to assist people. Tell me a little bit about your story, how you got into this whole realm.
My story, I tell people all the time, I believe God tricked me. But in 2009, I was facing prison with my third DWI in Montgomery County. I found myself sitting on a top bunk in a jail cell, called out to a God that I did not know, and just asked him not to take me from my children. It wasn't their fault that I was messed up and made the wrong choices. And I was bonded out of jail and had to go to report to bond probation. And my probation officer invited me to church, and that forever changed my life. And I've never looked back. Within 3 months, I founded Heaven's Army in New Caney, East Montgomery County, and said there had to be other people like me going through the things and making the same choices, and I wanted to help them. And so that was the beginning of Heaven's Army. And the community, I was open, honest, transparent, told the people, I feel like I'm to help people. And I mean, I could go to prison the next day, and I'm on probation, I don't have any money, quit my job. This looked kind of crazy, but here we are over 15 years later.
You've been a blessing too. I know that my husband partnered with you in the beginning, and that's how I met you, with different programs, especially for vulnerable families out in East Montgomery County in Christmas time in particular, and doing a feel the boot, so to speak. He had a competition between all his 3 shifts of firefighters and raised money to purchase gifts for kids that wouldn't normally have gifts.
Yes.
And it started small, then became massive.
Our first one was, I think, our first one at the New Caney Fire Station. We had maybe 30 kids, and then in 2016 was our last one, and we had over 1,500 children. That
it had to move locations.
We moved locations. With the fire department went with us. We went.
Yeah, went to the fairgrounds. Even I think, did you have fireworks too at one point? Yes, I thought so. There was a lot involved.
That was all connections through Chief Taylor.
Yep.
As well.
I remember. So okay, so you started Heaven's Army of Resources, and you still have that, and that offers different resources.
Well, in 2020. I closed the resource center because I heard the Lord tell me that to close that, not realizing that within a couple of months we would be hit with the pandemic. I just knew, I heard it was time and to focus on the home And so in 2020, I closed the resource center and focused solely on the home.
So you started this home. Tell me about that.
In 2015, I started Heaven's Army Home of Amazing Grace. It was birthed from just working with women in our community and families that I am realizing there's human trafficking going on around me in Montgomery County. This is in 2010, 2011, so it wasn't really talked about a whole lot, but I was
This
seeing
is a
things.
hot spot, isn't it?
Yes, and this wasn't right, and I was hearing women tell me that they were having to do things for money and being forced into it. And when I started researching, I realized this is trafficking, and it's right here in our small town. And so I wanted a place that it wasn't just a shelter, it wasn't just a home, but that these women could truly change their life. And of course, I'm all about ministry and sharing the gospel. And so I wanted a place that these women could be discipled and find their identity and purpose in Christ, and know that they were more worthy of things than that we're doing, and not just about what society was saying or what they were forced into do, but who they truly were in Christ.
So did you have any training to help these ladies that came into your house, or how did you get this going, and how were you able to assist them?
I researched trainings. I started getting involved. I on just taking anything I could
You
find
learned.
and did. I
You
learned. I
learned.
put myself
you did
out
feet on the
there.
ground learning.
I asked, can you share this with me? I connected with law enforcement. I wanted to know more. I went on
And
rides.
you were very connected. You were connected with
East Montgomery
all kinds
County
of,
just took
elected
me in
officials.
and taught me and showed me behind the
Constable,
scenes. Yes.
constable's office, sheriff's
Yes.
office, commissioner's office.
Yes.
All of those people that knew people that
Yes.
could assist you.
Yeah, and wanted to help, and I'm willing to get out there and be the hands and feet. And so they were willing to take me in and teach me.
So you started that program, the Home of Amazing Grace, and how many women were there at any given time, or did it vary?
It's varied. I mean, you have anywhere. I mean, at one point in the first home that we started, at one point I had over 20 women in that home.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And now
Sounds like a lot of drama.
drama and trauma.
Yes.
Now it is, we try not to take in no more than 9. It's just a lot. It's a lot to carry.
Okay, so you have Home of Amazing Grace, and you've participated with other things that we'll come back to in a few minutes, but you are now a member of the Montgomery County Human Trafficking Coalition, which is interesting. You have a lot of other things that you've been involved with in Houston, human trafficking, and chambers of commerce in Cold Spring and Cleveland and East Montgomery County. You're a certified trainer for missing and exploited children's internet safety. That's a big thing. That's
Yes,
huge. And
Well, that's where a lot of, right now, I mean, everyone has a phone. Children have phones. My grandson is, 6 years old and has a phone. This is the perpetrator.
phones can be
That's
dangerous.
the perpetrator now.
Yeah,
And so training and
absolutely.
teaching, working in the schools to teach the internet safety as well.
Okay, so that kind of gives us an idea of who you are and where your heart is and what you do and all that. Then I'm assuming you met this guy, Pastor Mike.
Pastor
Mike, tell me how you got connected with Heaven's Army in Lenora.
They showed up at church.
That's a good place.
And it was interesting because we had been praying. We're a very rural church. One guy describes us as 12 miles from east of nowhere. We're just a church out at the corner of the crossroads, and there's nothing out there.
And you're out in Cleveland.
We're 12 miles outside of Cleveland.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, literally out in the middle of nowhere. But we've been praying, Lord, bring us people, bring us folks. And we specifically prayed, Lord, bring us the people that nobody else wants. I'm not saying that nobody else wants these ladies, but we want them. And Lenore showed up and with these ladies in tow, and we had a conversation. And she asked me, she said, can we come to church here? And I'm like, well, of course. Why would I say no? She said, well, you need to understand what all's involved with us.
That was nice. She asked.
Yeah, she asked.
I was actually trying to get out of it. I was like, because the Lord sent me out there to the church, and it was like, okay, well, I'm just going to throw it out there, and sure, this pastor's going to say, we don't want your kind, and we don't want this in our church.
Have people said that?
Oh, yes.
Have they?
Yes. People.
A church is supposed to be an open place for people to go to with the doors open.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not.
No,
Okay.
not always like that.
Okay,
So I'm thinking
okay.
he's going to, they're bleeding all over the place, and if you come in here bleeding, then you're going to bleed on all of my other people.
But you were open to
But-
that. Okay. So she started coming there with the girls. And what did that look like? How did you partner with her organization?
Well, first we just loved on them. We took them in. We accepted them. Quite honestly, we crave them and we miss them when they're not there. They add so much. They just like brighten the room up. So we partnered with them. They're a line item in our budget
Nice.
now for support financially. But we have several people in our church volunteer and help. I personally try to spend time with the ladies. Anytime, like Vacation Bible School, they're all over the place. They're always ready to volunteer and help the church. It's just a great partnership. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do.
How do you think the faith has assisted these women that come to you? Have you seen a change in them since they've been involved? Lenora? Mary? Are you involved in going? Did you go to the church?
Oh, absolutely. And I was tearing up just now when Pastor Mike was talking about loving on them. And, when we first came to the church, it was right before I was in the program. And he thinks that he has like a little part in my recovery, but he had a huge part because he was the one guy that came and sat in front of me and talked to me and got me out of my shell. When I was in the program, I was only there for like maybe a week or two. And he just came and sat beside me because he knew that I was in a dark place, and he just got me talking. He was like, I know you don't want me to talk to you, but I'm going to talk to you.
That's cool. So tell me a little bit about you and how you came to visit with Lenora in the house.
Okay, so I'm a recovered drug addict. I was lost in addiction for about 12 to 15 years, I think, when I came into the home. Me and my husband had been separated for 8 years, and I was separated from my children as well. I had 3 children. And the drug addiction just progressed worse and worse. And it started out with like just pills and opiates, and then it graduated into very hard drugs. And I basically came to the end of myself and needed help. I went to Heaven's Army, and I surrendered my life then. I knew at that point that I didn't want to go back out to whatever was out there for me, that I was just done with it all. I tried several times to get sober, and each time, whether it be me just getting a couple months of sobriety and getting back with my family, all the shame and the guilt was always there to slap me in the face, and I would just go right back out. But in Heaven's Army, it was a place for me to not have to worry about any of those things out there, and just take time to work on myself, to build a relationship with the Lord, because I wasn't a believer at first. But I became a believer once I realized that everything that was happening to me in my addiction, all the crazy things, the paranoia and the things, it was God's hand over my life, and he brought me to this place. He brought me to Heaven's Army.
How did you hear about it?
In 2018, I actually had gotten a drug charge, and my dad was a volunteer at a place, assisted living place, and with another guy that knew about Heaven's Army.
He was actually one of our volunteers.
Yeah.
Mr. Nick.
And my dad heard about this program at the time that I went to jail for a drug charge. And he went to the judge and asked if I could go to this program instead of going to prison for 2 years. And the judge granted it, and I went in 2018, and after 30 days, I was like, no, thank you. I'll go spend my 2 years in jail. Because it was just, I wasn't ready, I wasn't ready to surrender my life, and I didn't want to put up with rules or anything else. So I went back out in the world and was on the run for 4 years. And I eventually, still got sick of things after that 4 years. This was in between the time of me leaving Heaven's Army. I had a warrant out for my arrest that entire 4 years. And I went and turned myself in about 2 or 3 months before 2021 when I went back to Heaven's Army. And I was sober for a month in jail. They just gave me 30 days because it had been 4 years. And I hadn't been in trouble or anything like that. So went right back out there to the drugs again, after any little thing happened. I tried to get back with my family. And like I said, every time that I would try to face them, even if I was sober, all of the other things that I had done in the past just came and hit me in the face again. I hadn't dealt with that trauma. I hadn't dealt with all the shame, the shameful things that I had done in my addiction. And so I found out about Heaven's Army from the first time that I was there. And with my, I remember calling my dad on the phone and telling him I needed help. And he said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, Heaven's Army. And just, that was a God thing because I didn't want to go back there.
Mm-hmm. It was time. It was time
Yeah.
for you to make a change,
Mm-hmm.
and you realized that.
Yeah. Well, I was scared. Honestly, the point when I called my dad, I was scared because I was having these, I was hearing voices and I was just losing my mind, literally losing my mind. And I'll never forget the first, by that night I was at Heaven's Army, and as soon as I got there and got in bed, I've just felt so much peace. It was because I had just went through like a week of this paranoia and voices and just, being attacked. Just, it was awful. So I felt peace as soon as I was there. And things happened while I was there. But I just knew that I wanted to become a different person. I wanted to learn how to live my life without drugs. And
Was it easy?
no, it wasn't easy. I know that it could have been harder, but I know that I was just at a point in my life where I just wanted it to work.
Yeah,
I
you wanted it
wanted
to work.
I was just done with
You're ready.
everything else.
You have to go through things and drop
Mm-hmm.
down.
I feel like you have to come to the end of yourself.
My son was that way, and he actually helped. Lenora helped him a little bit. And sometimes you do have to do tough love until they figure out they need to go.
Yeah.
Because it's always up to you, right? And your motivation. If you're not motivated to make change, it could be anything. It could be stopping smoking or anything. You have to be motivated. Losing weight, anything. If you're not motivated, it ain't going to happen, right? And nobody can make you. So,
It wasn't
You
easy.
know-
I think the hard part was trying to find out what your life looked like after that. Like what are the steps that you take after you get yourself grounded and
so what was that? What happened? How did you transform?
well, I transformed. Being in the program, you learn about why you did the things that you did and what your identity is now, and that you don't have to carry all those burdens. You don't have to carry all that shame, because that was my problem. I might be able to keep myself sober, but I can't deal with all the things that I did. I can't look my family, my husband, my kids in the face, knowing all these things that I had done. And so I got to work through those things there. I got to work through them with my family. We went through counseling. We went through counseling with Pastor Nix, with Miss Lenora, and other counselors. And we worked through all that, And I thank God that I have a husband, and my children were forgiving, and they walked with us through all of those things.
So now you're at home with your family, and are you working, or what are you doing? How do you spend your time?
Renewed her wedding vows
Yes.
and her graduation. day.
Yes. So the day that I graduated, we renewed our vows, and we went on a mission trip with Pastor Mike.
That was
And
their honeymoon.
Comes
Yeah.
full circle, huh?
Yeah.
How amazing.
Yeah.
So how long have y'all been married?
22 years.
Wow. Must be a good man.
yeah.
He's been hanging
Oh,
in
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
That's
he's a
great.
great man.
And how old are your children?
They are 20, 19, and 16.
That's wonderful.
I think it's been a whole family transformation as well, because the children
It
struggled
is a
with their own-
family process, isn't it?
The children struggled with their own addictions and were going through things because of the lifestyle they were living and their own
Yeah.
traumas and stuff. But now they're all involved in the church
Yeah.
and serve and things. So,
They were headed down the same path that my husband and I were headed on, and they got to see the transformation. My kids saw us go through what we went through and try to get back together several times, and they didn't have any more hope for us. And when they saw it work for us, they're like, that could only be God. And so it got them motivated and gave them hope. So
I remember your daughter saying one time that she was just waiting for the day that you were going to leave. It was surreal. Mom's home. This is our life. We're going to church. Mom's sober. Mom's clean. My family looks happy.
It was an entire
This
transformation.
is not going to last long.
Yeah.
And it took her, and she said she pushed back. She rebelled some in
She
that
did.
because you're going to leave anyway, so go ahead and leave now. I'll give you a reason to leave, basically. And she didn't. She just gave her space and said, I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah.
This is our
That's
life.
good. How long were you in the program with Lenore?
year.
A year. Is that the standard amount?
ma'am.
It's a year?
It's a year to
12
graduate.
month? Okay. So, but, and you have a statement here that it isn't about rescuing, it's about rebuilding lives long term. So by doing something in a program for 12 months, and you can tell me your thoughts on this too, that you are more likely to stay with it.
Yes.
Because it isn't like a 1 month, 3 month, 90-day thing. A lot of programs are 90 days, right? A lot of them are 90 days. But this way you're doing different habits.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on
It is. Well, when you have an investment in something, you're more likely to stick to it. And when you invest a year of your life into something,
That's a year.
that's a year.
That's a lot. You're doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But when you look at addiction and things, so how long were we invested in? She just said 15 years into the negative. So she invested 15 years into that. She invested 4 years of running from law enforcement. I mean, she knew every day, hey, I'm going to get up and I'm going to have to watch behind me because I'm running. So every day was a thought. So if you get up and you change that perspective, and every day I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this for the positive, for my children, and you put other things at the focus, now you're motivated to make that change.
Didn't you feel a lot better overall when you had all those positive things going on instead of
Oh, yes,
negative
absolutely.
vibes?
Yeah, and if you think about it, I went in and I was ready. I was ready for this change to happen, and it took every bit of a year for it to stick, because I was still learning things at 12 months. I was still having experiences in the house that I wouldn't have had outside of the house, with the different women and just the different things. You just learn so much about
Your
yourself.
Coping
and it's-
skills?
Yeah, coping skills and just your daily habits, because like she said, when you're stuck in drug addiction for so long, like I wanted to change, but I had no idea what that looked like. I didn't know what a normal life looked like, or a sober life, or what do I do with my time, or just
Scary.
When
it
you're-
was scary.
Addicted to drugs, it seems like that's your coping skill. Whenever anything happens that you don't really want to make a decision about, you go to the drugs or the drinking or the whatever. So it's about changing how you make decisions, and so it's a very emotional thing, as well as you're in a different setting, but your whole learning has to change and how you deal with things, right? And it's emotional, physical, spiritual growth, everything.
On the emotional side too, you have to understand that sometimes these ladies are receiving love for the first time that doesn't cost them something.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't have to do something to get love.
It's given freely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I believe that's.
And sometimes
wise.
it takes them a while to trust that. What's the catch?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's why we were sent to the church there when the Lord said, this is where you'll go. was one of the things that really spoke volumes to me. Was it was at the time of Vacation Bible School, and this still just is a big part of our connection to the church, was the ladies. We've served in churches, our entire ministry, and the ladies always serve. Can you set up tables? Can you clean? Can you clean the bathrooms? Can you do this? Can you do that?
Right.
And we always serve, right? But when we went to Dolan, it was, we need volunteers for Vacation Bible School to work with helping
Specific
and
responsibility.
the children and teaching, and part of the making the children happy, and we're like, they wanted to, but I'm like, well, I don't know if they're going to let you do that part, but I'll ask. And Pastor Mike said, well, I'm going to have to run backgrounds on everyone. And of course, okay. And so he did that, and the girls came home one day and they were crying. And of course that mama bear in me is like, what happened? What? I'm thinking, okay, they've already been attacked now at the church because we're new there. And he said, Pastor Mike called us in the office. I said, what about? What happened? And they said, he asked us if we wanted, he said he had our background checks, and said, is this who you are? And we said, no. So we want to change. He said, then Johnny said, then let's do this. I'm beside you on this.
Wow,
and
that's impactful.
And it was that he showed them that didn't define them.
Right.
Their past don't define them, and it spoke volumes to them that they could serve. And now I believe Miss Mary, you even serve with Vacation Bible School Awanas and things in the church. And
I was just thinking that,
you serve in that
Vacation Bible School at Dolan was the week that I got to Heaven's Army, and I was still coming out of my haze and everything, and I was thinking, what did I do? Because I've been in this drug world for 15 years, and then the next day I'm singing and dancing with kids, or trying to anyways, and I just, the transformation from that time. And then Vacation Bible School at Dolan was the week that I left, or that I graduated, and I was so much enjoying it, and I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna miss this, and now every year at my church I'm doing Vacation Bible School. I'm volunteering with our youth and enjoying it, and it just thinking back on the time when I first,
It's amazing.
from one day to the next was,
Yeah.
you're in this dark
Very
world. and you're-
transformational.
yeah.
I think that's the whole point of what Pastor Mike was saying. It's love. When all of at the end of the day, what all of this boils down to is love. And sometimes that's hard for some to receive and accept. And love is, a lot of times, is discipline, it's correction, it's accountability. It is those things.
It's support.
It's support.
It's knowing
And-
that you have somebody there, even if
Yes.
you fall a little bit, that it's okay. You're going to make
Yes.
mistakes. Go ahead and keep going forward.
Yes, I remember one time Miss Mary was corrected and for getting some Rotel out. She was in the kitchen. She was working the kitchen, and she used Rotel without permission of using Rotel. And so she received a disciplinary action for that, and it was going to be her time. Was it a phone call or a visit or something?
No, it was a weekend visit.
It was a weekend visit. And it was like, no, because of this reason. The thing is, she accepted it. We talked about it, and I explained to her why. It was because the decision you made to do something without permission is the same choices you made out there. It's not just about the can of Rotel. It's you stole something. You took it without asking, and you did something. We had a contract of what the way it works in our program is that you make a menu. She was a kitchen manager. She made a menu. She would agree to, this is what I'm going to use. This is my ingredients, and I would sign off on it. The pantry is the grocery store because they're trying to learn life skills. And so she decided to do something different. So she went to the store, the pantry, and grabbed other items that wasn't approved, right? Life skills. And then when I decided to eat dinner with them that night, I'm like, I don't remember this being on the contract on the menu. She's like, yeah, I went ahead and I did this, and this. I'm like, well, that's not the way this works. You don't go get a contract somewhere and change it up. If you go get an apartment, you don't change it the way you want it. And you have to ask, right? And you have to get things approved and stuff. And so it was really changing her mindset of what this was about. And I said, I would rather you be disciplined and lose this weekend than you make a choices and you're away from your kids another 8 years. Are you
Wow.
seeing what I'm saying? I love you
Yeah.
so much that this is what it's going to be, and we're going to talk to your family about what the choice you made, and it's not about that. It's not about the rotel. It's not about the cupcake. It's a bigger issue, and I want you to see that. And she said, yes, ma'am. And she received it. She wasn't, I'm sure inside she was,
I wasn't though, and I wasn't, but I look back on that now, and my perspective on the whole thing, I don't even remember using the rotel, and like I don't even know what came over me. I hadn't had a disciplinary thing the entire time I'd been there, so what I saw out of it is God's hand in it all, because me and my husband had not renewed our vows yet, and if I would have went on an away home visit to my family's house, I don't know what would have happened. I don't know if I was strong enough to resist temptation with my husband. And so I looked at it as God showing me, we're going to do this the right way. You're not going to go home and spend the weekend with your family. And I tell people today when I tell this story, I'm like, a can of Rotel saved my marriage, from our new covenant with God. We weren't remarried yet. We hadn't made our new covenant with God. So that's my perspective on it.
So what I'm thinking is we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, I want to talk about where y'all are now, how you're moving forward, and what's going on as you go forward with Heaven's Army and Lenora and all of that. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
And we are back. So we're talking about Heaven's Army with Lenora Purvis, Pastor Mike, Mary Yett, who also... Yunt. So sorry. Mary Yunt, Y-O-U-N-T. Mary, who was in the program and now is happily married with her husband of 26 years. 22 years with her children, and very involved in her faith and wholeness again. And a lot of it was everybody here at this table working together, sounds like. And, Mary, you've touched other people's lives too, whether you know it or not, but you do. Everything you do, every decision you make touches somebody else's life. People are looking at you. People watch you, which may be a weird thing, being that you've had some of your own challenges, but that's what you do. You're a mentor to other people who are learning in the program. Would that be a true statement,
Absolutely.
Lenora? And, Lenora has learned over the many years that she's been in this program, and you now have different places. Tell me about some of the other organizations you have now as well.
We have the men's program. It's called the Heaven's Army, the Winston House, and we take in men, and it is a discipleship program for men for the next level living, to train them to be the headship of their homes and to know who they are in Christ as well.
And what is Boutique?
Boutique is a coffee shop and
That's
shopping.
cute.
So it's coffee and shopping. It's what women love.
And
So
where is that?
It's in Shepherd.
It's in Shepherd.
Men enjoy it as well.
Men
enjoy
going
the
there,
coffee
too.
too. I mean, yeah, my
Yeah.
husband loves coffee.
So we get a lot of we get donations, and we were a lot of times just giving things away, and one day it was like, how we have all this stuff. They call it the Garage Mahal because it's got a bunch of stuff in there, and it's like, what can we do with this? And then I was brainstorming, how can I also teach the women to be entrepreneurs and business women? So here I have all the stuff in my garage. I'm needing these women to learn to be business women. So why don't we start a business? And that was the business side.
That's a great idea.
Of the Boutique. So they helped me from the very beginnings of it. We brainstormed on the name and what it would look like. They learned how to pay taxes. They learned how to work. They learned how to customer service. Running
a business, all the
running a
things.
business, all of it, and knowing they can do it.
So are all these different places, organizations that you're affiliated with, are they all on Heaven's Army? They
Yes,
can
ma'am.
find it. So that is Heaven's Army dash, or what is your website?
heavensarmy-tx.org.
Okay, I couldn't read my own writing. heavensarmy-tx.org, and you can also be reached at Lenora at heavensarmy-tx.org. And so what are your plans going forward?
Well, we're getting ready for our Friendsgiving. We are having an open house, so anyone that would just like to come out and see who we are, what we're about, ask questions. All of our teachers, we have over 13 classes a week for the ladies. They're going to set up tables and share what they're doing and what a typical day would look like, or a class would look like, for them to showcase. Our teachers, our volunteers, the ladies.
What day is that?
That is on November the 15th. From 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at 2490 FM 2518 Cleveland 77327.
Will that be on your website too?
Yes, ma'am. And
Okay.
it's just a come and go. We're going to have light snacks and coffee. Come in, see who we are, take a tour of the home, and you can. Our directors of our men's program will be there as well to answer any questions. If anybody would like to drive over there and look at that as well, we would mind doing that as well.
That sounds fabulous.
You
And
know.
you, Mary, what's going on with you? What are your plans going forward?
Well, me and my husband faithfully serve in our church in Pearland, and which is really cool. This story that Pastor Mike, his brother-in-law, goes to a church in Pearland, and he recommended this church to us, and we just fit right in
Oh,
the moment that we.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
What a good connection.
It's a great church. It was scary trying to find a different church after Dolan, because Dolan's just awesome. But it's a good one too, Shady Crest in Pearland. And I volunteer a lot, most of my time, because I don't work, I don't have a job. And my kids are, teenagers now, so they don't require too much of me.
Volunteering is a big deal, though.
Yes.
It's not,
Yes.
well, I just volunteer.
Yeah,
It's
and
a good thing.
it's-
It's
for me-
giving back to the community.
Right. And for me, I think about all the time, all the years that I spent taking from the community. So this is my way to give back, and
Fills your heart.
Yeah, it feels good, and there's such a need for it,
Good.
So volunteering in the community, and also at our church. There's our church. The youth department is our pastor. The youth pastor just recently left to go somewhere else, and so some of us are stepping in to help fill that spot until we find another youth pastor, and so that's been a lot of fun. It's interesting just to see that side of things, and to
Maybe you and
Because-
Charlie are the new youth pastors.
no, we're not, but no, I am definitely enjoying
One day at a time. One day at a time, Lenora, right? Wait and see how.
Stress you out.
God told me when
that's true.
all of this was going on, God told me, He's like, I don't need your ability, but your availability. So I'm available to step in, because I'm available, but I don't know that. I just know my presence being there with them and loving on them at this point.
It
right
feels
now.
good.
Yeah, it's a good.
You
thing.
seem very
So,
happy.
Yeah.
And you've
It's
learned
showing in your eyes.
You've learned that through even hearing, like Pastor Mike said, from him teaching, it's about love.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And the things that we've done even in the program is serving. That, like Pastor Mike said, that they volunteered everything. They got Volunteer of the Year for putting 1,800 hours back into our community, always going wherever we can serve it. Businesses, churches, organizations, other nonprofits. It's not being territorial, but how can we serve and help as well? Because like she said, it's a lot of times from addiction and things like that. We take so much from people in the community, but now they're learning the healing side of it is from giving back. How can I help you? What can I do? And it's so fun, and I think that's
Everybody
a big part
has
of
a
that.
skill set.
Yes.
Everybody has a God-given talent that they can use in some respect. Would
Yes.
you say that's correct?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
And churches need support, and nonprofits need support, and when we can show up and help, and it's just
It's
a
a
good
big
thing.
thing.
It's a good thing.
So what last
and-
words do you have?
And we're built to serve.
Yes.
We're built to serve. That's correct.
Last words?
Well, I don't mean final words, but I mean, what are your thoughts and maybe some encouragement and prayer for those who may be struggling about the programs and things?
I am sold on Heaven's Army. So much so that I recently joined the board. I'm on the board now at Heaven's Army. I've seen what goes on. I've been involved in what goes on. I've witnessed life change. Not every woman that comes into the program is successful. They're not ready. Various different reasons. It's not their time. They're not committed for whatever reason. But those that are, if they'll give themselves the opportunity, like Mary. Another one of the graduates is our worship leader now at Dolan Baptist Church. And so that's what keeps me going, is being able to watch this timid, this scared young lady come, and to be able to watch them grow and blossom, literally blossom through the program, and watch them really find out who they are and see themselves the way God sees them, instead of this lie that they've been telling themselves because somebody's been telling them who they're supposed to be for so long. And when they finally believe the truth of God's word, just to watch them flourish in that, that drives me. That drives me. And that's one of my passions. So whatever I can do to help more women experience that and be broken free from those chains that are just tying them down and making them be held captive is really what it is. It's slavery. It's bondage. To be able to see them set free.
So you give them a little, you ignite them a little.
I do whatever I
help
can.
give them hope that there's more.
I try to encourage. I make a point to speak with them at every opportunity. Matter of fact, before we left to come here, I was speaking with one there at the house. She was teary-eyed, and I was trying to find out what was going on, and that was her issue this morning. She's trying to understand, trying to break free from. She's been telling herself that she's this, and this, because other people have been telling her, she's a failure, she's worthless, she's broken for all of her life. And she's trying to reconcile that with what the Bible says, with who God says that she is. And there is no reconciliation between the two. One is a lie and one is truth. She's trying to determine which one is truth.
Doesn't she have to believe in herself first, though, and not listen necessarily to what the other naysayers are saying?
No, she doesn't have to believe in herself first. She has to believe in God.
Yes, faith in God, but she also has to, without her faith in herself, she's not going to grow either.
That's true. But when she believes in God first, then she can believe in herself, because God is the one who made her.
Yeah.
And made her to be who she is. And he defines her. She doesn't define herself.
Yeah.
And when she gets it, and I'm praying that she will, I want to see her blossom like Mary and like so many of these other women that I've been able to watch and witness. And if I can play a small part in that, it just lights my fire.
I feel like within the church and things, it's very rare to have a pastor like Pastor Mike, because he does challenge. Because, like he said, the young lady that's now the praise and worship leader, she's 19.
Oh my goodness!
And she came to us and had tried to commit suicide 3 times. Just felt like he said, a failure. I can't do anything. And then to be challenged, she's never led worship before. She's never done any of that. And to step into a role and go, you're going to lead a whole church. That most don't give that opportunity, but when they're given that opportunity, they'll rise to the occasion. That
makes absolute sense.
Like being in that opportunity, going, okay, I've had a drug world, but now I'm going to dance and do
Yeah.
little skits for the kids. You had to rise to the occasion. And now look, this is it's just like breathing. It's what you enjoy. You love it, but you were given that opportunity. Had you been set on the back row and said, you're not part of this, go sit back there, that reinforces what we've already been told our entire life.
Right, you have to
You're-
relearn it.
You're not worthy of up here. You go sit back there.
Your biggest growth happens
So-
when you do things that make you uncomfortable.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and you learn
Yes.
and you push through that. And yes, your faith in God. I mean, I know that my son and God walk with me every day and will have me no matter the challenges. And there's
Amen.
been many.
Amen.
So to wrap up, I like what you said here, Lenora. Heaven's Army continues to stand strong, rooted in love, truth, and community support. Support from the community, support from those who have been part of the program. And real transformation happens through you, through God, through all the people that are part of your story.
Yes.
And I appreciate y'all coming on today and sharing what has developed in your lives and how it has helped you grow individually as part of your story. And again, if you want to know more, Heaven's Army
-tx.org.
tx.org. Thank you all for listening, and thank you to my guest today. Again, this is irlonestar.com. You can also find this on YouTube and Conroe Culture News on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.